Things just took a very interesting turn for the Florida Panthers in last night's loss to Buffalo. Paul Maurice and Bill Zito are scratching their heads about what they're going to have to do moving forward with a key piece who just signed a contract leaving the ice last night with an injury. And right now, the only bright spot on this team seems to be goaltending. So what is Bill Zito going to do, guys? Welcome to this episode of Panthers Digest. I'm your host, Greg Andrews. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. You guys need to stay up to date with anything and everything that has to do with your back-to-back Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, who are not really looking like that at this point. This war of attrition that they have been facing on this road trip, and it's just not getting better right now, guys. The team is struggling. They're very spotty on defense right now, struggling immensely on offense. We'll get into some of the numbers in just a moment. And what made things even worse, yes, another injury. Nothing has come out yet to the extent of the injury and how long the player will be out for. But here we go, guys. Nico Mikkola exits last night's game against the Buffalo Sabres with an upper body injury. He got his stick tangled up with a Buffalo Sabres player. He was caught holding the Buffalo Sabres player's stick. I'm hoping it's not a shoulder, because the last thing this Cats team needs is a fifth player to be out due to surgery or something. I don't want to jinx it or anything. Again, I will have that information about the injury and what is expected of him. Hopefully he will return for the game against Boston in 2 days. Let's cross our fingers, because he just signed a big-time extension. He's a big piece for this defense. It's not looking good right now. And if we have a fifth player out, I don't know what the Cats are going to do. If that's the case, I would have to say that Bill Zito is going to probably have to pull the trigger on trying to make a trade for something to try to save this season. Yes, I know it is still early. I'm not going to say the season is lost. But moving forward, if it's a long-term injury thing and we have another player who will probably be out past January, they're going to have to look into probably making a move sooner than later. But anyways, let's keep moving forward. Upper body injury per the team. Nico Mikkola didn't return to the game last night. Left in the second period, unfortunately. And obviously, loss 4 in a row. Really ugly road trip right now. Things are kind of falling apart. And we saw Brad Marchand get pretty PO'd when he took a cheap shot to the back, a cross check right in front of the referee. No call. I can't remember the player's name from Buffalo, but came at him again after that, and Brad Marchand had enough and just dropped the gloves and didn't care anymore. And he's doing the right thing to try to light a match, a little fire underneath this team right now, but nothing seems to be working. Very spotty on defense. No production on offense. The puck just seems to be just always being shot at the goaltenders. In some way, shape, or form, it's always right at a pad, right at the glove, right at the blocker, right at the body. I mean, they're just not finding those open spaces where the puck's going to hit the back of the net. The only guy who seems to be throwing them in better spots seems to be Brad Marchand, but everybody else just can't seem to find a way past these goaltenders in these last few games, because right now, in these 4 games that we have lost, 101 shots, 4 goals on those 101 shots. Not a very good shooting percentage, not putting up anything. And man, to have a shutout last night against what technically is the worst team in the league, it's embarrassing. It's getting bad. And they're 1 for 19 on the power play right now. 0 for 7 against Buffalo last night. They had so many opportunities to put a puck in the back of the net, but the shooting has just not been there, guys. It's gotten ugly. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to get right into the video of last night's game. So here we go. One of the bright spots here, they're getting chances. But again, the shots are going right at the goaltender. I mean, Brad Marchand, again, he's trying to go for that lower corner, but not enough juice on that puck to put it past Lyon. And then we're also caught out of position here. I mean, look at this. Look at all the open ice at the bottom of your screen, guys. Both of our defenders at the top. This is going to be a pass that goes cross ice. A good save by Bob to keep the Cats at 0-0. But look at this. And then here we go. Watch the positioning again of the Cats. Look to the left of your screen. We've got 2 defenders right next to each other. You've got 3 Buffalo Sabres players right there going to the corner. You're going to see they're caught out of position again defensively. Here we go. Look at that. Bottom right. Where is the defender for the Florida Panthers? And there's an open Sabres player right inside the trapezoid, right on the edge of it. Watch the play.
And Zucker let it rip.
Puck goes to him, right out. Look at the opposite side of the ice. Look at all that open ice. We have 5 cats all at the bottom of the screen. No one's paying attention to, oh, hey, there's a Buffalo Sabres player who's wide open on the other side of the ice. And again, Bob with a great save. Again, the silver lining to how bad they're playing right now offensively, and then the defensive miscues and the spotty areas on defense where they're caught out of position all the time is the goaltending right now, and that is pretty much it. Here we go again. Bad defensive positioning. Look at the bottom of the screen to the left. There's a Sabres player who's wide open. Guess who's going to get it? Right there. Comes back across. And look at that. All of these players, yes, I know we're on the power play right now, but why are there 3 Panthers players behind the net trying to go against 1 Buffalo Sabres player? So you've got at the part of the right of the screen, you've got a 4-on-1 for the Sabres right now. Watch how out of position they are. Easy. Easy. Our defense is non-existent. I was saying they were looking okay at times, but now, in last night's game, there wasn't defense, period. Let's keep watching the out of position play here. Now look at this. Bottom of the screen again. Buffalo player, unaccounted for. They're breaking into that offensive zone. You've got 3 Buffalo players at the top of the screen. Our 5 guys, 4 of them at the top of the screen, 1 at the bottom, that's Lundell. Nobody is taking into account the Buffalo Sabres player at the bottom of the screen. Watch how easy this is. Cross ice pass right here. Boom, easy, open net. Bob can't really do much about that. Now watch this. Watch where our players are. I'm going to stop it a couple times. Pass across the ice, off the boards, and a big save by Bob. It's ugly, guys. Anybody out there who's saying, oh, well, they're going to... That, what I just showed you, is lack of defensive awareness. Like, I don't even know what I'm looking at right now. Like, I'm gonna run this by you guys one more time, okay? One of the bright spots was right here. I mean, this is pretty much one of the best opportunities they had in the game to at least score a goal. Good rebound. Unfortunately, it didn't bounce the way for Evan Rodriguez. And here again, bottom of the screen, wide open Buffalo Sabres player, but Bob is in great position to stop that puck. And then here we are again, guy in the trapezoid right there behind the goal. He's wide open, guy coming right towards the net. Everybody's caught puck watching instead of looking around to find where the closest player is. So there's a body on a body. They can get a stick in the lane, body in the passing lane, body in the shooting lane, whatever it is, completely out of position. Like, what's going on here, guys? And then watch the puck again. Shot goes off the net, up into the air. Players are wide open. We're caught watching the puck and not paying attention to the rest of the thing. We're just out of position everywhere. Easy shot, easy goal. Again, near side of the ice, near circle. Easy does it. Breakaway chance. I mean, it wasn't pretty last night. Of all the games to say that were ugly, last night was the worst against the worst team in the NHL. I really hope they're able to turn this around, but let's get back to everything, back to these images here so I can show you guys what has been happening. So, Bob, this is what he has to say about this. It's never easy. This league is so challenging. Every team, every organization, they have good players. This challenge is so high. We didn't expect to win all 82 games. Obviously, you're going to face some challenges. And for them, the biggest challenge is, can they stay healthy? And they're not able to. 321 games in 3 seasons was they played up to this point. Yes, I've added in the 7 games for this regular season. 321 games in total. It's a lot of hockey. And here's Bob on more injuries for Florida. We're missing the big guys, but on the other hand, the other guys have the opportunity to step up and make their way in the team and in the league. It's a good opportunity for them. The structure's here. We have great guys, and it's all in our heads. Well, I think this is getting beyond in their heads because we are battling so much adversity right now. It's like they can't seem to catch up with the losses. I mean, we saw the Lustrain and Lundell, which I'm going to show you right now. Lustrain and Lundell Marchand line. We're going to get into that in a minute. Everybody was telling me, oh, they'll be the top line. We'll see how they pair up with everybody else. Well, last night, they didn't do a damn thing. I'm going to show you the stats in a minute. But here is Paul Maurice getting a breather before Boston on Tuesday. Thank goodness they got a couple days off. When you're not playing the way you want, you'll take everything as a positive. We need the 2 days rest. That's 7 games in 10 days and a half days to start for us. It'll be good to get off, get a practice in. I agree 100%. They definitely need the rest. So again, 3-0 loss. Panthers were shut out. 32 saves by Lyon. Made him look really, really good. None of our shots were hitting the back of the net. We had one that went off the post. But man, it has been ugly. Our shooting has not been very good. So let's keep this rolling here. These were the lines for last night. Like I said, Lustranen, Lundell, Marchand didn't really seem to do much. Verhaeghe, Bennett, and Reinhart didn't do anything. Samoskevich, Rodriguez, Boquist had a couple of opportunities, but nothing. Greer, Cunnin, Gadjevich. I mean, there's really no bright spot to talk about. That's why the highlights were not really highlights. It was more like, let me show you how bad we've been. Let me show you how bad they were in the game last night. Out of position everywhere. So let's keep on rocking and rolling here, guys. 0 for 7 on the power play. We gave up 2 goals. Our penalty kill was not there. Special teams just not playing well the last few games. Not doing great. 15 giveaways in the game. Not good. 50-50 split in face-offs. A little bit better. But again, you're not going up against the team. This one we should have won. I was picking this as a W. I'm like, hey, you know what? Hopefully they'll bounce back in this game. But I would say this was the ugliest game on the road trip so far. Hopefully they can bounce back against Boston coming up on the 21st. So let's keep rocking and rolling. There you go. There's your top line, guys. All -1. Marchand threw it 4 times at the net to try to put something in the back of the net and make something happen. Mackie Samoskevich has been trying to make things work as well. His 7 shots, and he also had 5 blocks. Sam Reinhart had 6 blocks. I know a lot of you were talking about, where's Sam Reinhart? Where's Sam Reinhart? Well, he was the runner-up for the Selke Award. I think he's focusing more on the defensive side of things than the offensive side of things because of that loss of Barkov. He's trying to pick up the slack. Again, all of these guys have to play a different style of hockey than what they're used to playing because of all the injuries that have racked up. And Bennett, been the darkest spot for this team so far. He's done absolutely nothing in the beginning of this season. Every time I see him on the ice, I just feel like he's not making a play. He's not getting his teammates involved. He's not being as physical as he was. It's like, I don't understand. I don't understand what is happening with his style of play. The physicality is not there. He's not getting in front of the net and really like bouncing around, bouncing off defenders, pushing him out of the way and being aggressive. It's just not there. I just feel like this team knows how injured they are. And I've got some great quotes to show you about what Paul Maurice has to say about all these injuries piling up and what he believes is going through the heads of his players right now. So let's look at the defense. Not terrible, but, oh man, still, like, Jeff Petrie was okay last night. I think he's starting to find a little bit of his way with the team on that third defensive pairing. But we see there, Ekblad and Jones trying to put the puck in the net. I know there were several opportunities. They were trying to make something happen. And then Aaron Ekblad, 4 block shots. Bob was pretty solid. I mean, don't let the numbers fool you. A .903 save percentage. You can't do much more than what Bob did last night. In all of these games on this road trip, the goaltenders have done everything they can to try to keep their team in the game. They couldn't do any more. So, last thing here. If this losing streak spills over, let's say we lose all 5 on the road, or even maybe we do win Boston, but then we start falling behind back at home, I know we're going to be at 12 games at the end of our homestand. If we keep losing, I think Bill Zito is going to have to pull the trigger, especially if the injuries are piling up, guys. I don't think he sees this season, if it gets to this point of, like, let's call it 15 to 20 games into the season. I mean, guys, they are edging towards the bottom of their division now. They have dropped. I was looking this morning. I mean, you've got Detroit and Montreal at the top of the division right now. Boston's above us. Toronto is above us. We're trying to tread water. I know it's early. I know there's still 75 games left in the season, okay? I know. A lot of hockey left to play, but cause for concern right now. They have to find something to light a spark for this team to start playing better. And a trade might be imminent if the losing streak spills over into the homestand. If they go 0 for 5 on this road trip and then lose their first 2 at home, and that's going to be a test. Pittsburgh's not looking terrible. Vegas is one of the best in the league right now. Dallas is kind of middle of the road, and then they have to hit the trip to the West Coast. So it's not an easy next 10 games or so on their schedule. And they can't afford to fall behind. You know, you can't afford to have 4 or 5 wins under your belt by the time you hit the road. they need to win at least more. I would say more than half these games. They probably have to win 3 out of the next 5 games they need to win. They need to go 3-2 or hopefully 4-1 to try to catch up. Anyways, guys, let's keep going here. Let's go to the graphics from what Paul Maurice has to say about this right now. This is Paul Maurice on the injuries piling up. I don't have the right word, but fear helps. That's part of it. I don't feel there's any arrogance in our room about how easy this should be because we won last year. I don't know that it's fear, but there's a focus, and we need it. You don't replace these guys that you have out of the lineup. The weight doesn't get heavier. You just have fewer guys to lift, right? Absolutely. But nobody's lifting up except for Brad Marchand right now and your goaltenders. That's pretty much it from what I see on the ice. And Anton Lundell, a little bit of Erod at times. You know, there's some guys at times, but it's like it's Brad Marchand 100% all the time. Anton Lundell's starting to pile up a little bit. Evan Rodriguez, Sam Miskevich, that's pretty much it. Here is Paul Maurice on the mindset of play for the Panthers. We're just trying to play as hard as we can so that when we get to the playoffs, we have invested enough hard that you don't want to let it slip away. The idea of timing it doesn't work for us. We wouldn't be able to do that certainly now. None of these guys are going to be back for 5 months, so no sense waiting. And here he is in terms of that silver lining. The silver lining is you potentially become bulletproof to injuries in the playoffs if you can figure out a way to survive this now. That's the only thing we get out of this, because we're going to have to scratch and claw to make the playoffs because the division is that good. Absolutely. That's why I'm trying to tell all of you guys right now. Will Bill Zito in the front office try to pull the trigger on a solid move to try to save the season at some point? They have 3 wins, guys. 4 losses. Not looking good on the road. I'm not saying the wheels are completely turning, falling off the wagon right now or falling off the car. This is more like, let's see how they can maybe bounce back against a pretty good Boston Bruins team. They've played a ton of hockey already. The Panthers have played a ton of hockey. They're one of, I think, 3 teams or 2 teams that have played a total of 7 games already in their season. Everybody else, I think, is at 5, maybe 6. So their pace in their schedule has been hot and fast and no rest. And I think you see the toll it's taking on the players, not just the injuries. All of that aside, it's a lot of hockey to be played in the first couple of weeks of the season. And I think it is taking a toll on this team. I think they're getting tired. I think the fatigue is there. I do think the adversity that they are fighting through is something that is also bothering them. The mental aspect of everything that's happening, it's a lot for them to deal with. And the change in style of play, I mean, the line changes, all of this, it is a lot for this team to have to go through. But they fought through adversity before. They can do it again. Yes, it's early, but I'm still not going to say if they're able to string together wins. I think they kind of see this through and just keep playing. But if they're piling up the losses, maybe win 1 and then lose 4 in a row again or 3 in a row, I do think Bill Zito is going to eventually have to make a decision on, should we trade for a decent name right now to try to pull together something so we can make the playoffs? Because I do think with Barkov possibly coming back at the end of the season, by the way, he's not on the non-roster LTIR. He is just on LTIR for now. But he is on the active roster, so that means he should be back sometime at the end of the season or beginning of the playoffs. That's what they're hoping for. And Tkachuk could be back. Maybe that could change the whole season, but we'll see. Right now, they need somebody to try to fill in one of those skates for Barkov, one of those skates for Tkachuk, bring someone in who could be maybe that 1 seed. I've already told you who that is. But anyways, guys, yeah. Tough road trip. It has not been good for the Cats. Let's cross our fingers. Things do improve in Boston, but that's going to be a raucous crowd. They hopefully will cheer Marchand. We will see. But anyways, guys, cross your fingers. They got a couple days off. Let them rest. Let them get some practices in. Let's hear from the coach a little bit later, as well as Bill Zito and some of the players. Hopefully they're going to start being a little more optimistic about things, and this rest should hopefully help them out. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below. I appreciate all of your support. And go Cats. Let's go get them in Boston.